Hi everyone, it's me, Janelle from YogawithJa, and today I'm going to go through some hip movements, lower body exercises that you can include in your kneeling sun salutation. So we can start in tabletop. Your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. So this is either before you're pushed down and up, or just as you're coming back into child's pose. The first one we will do is a wide-legged child's pose. So we'll take our knees out a little further than hips distance. Flip your feet so your big toes come together. And then we'll press back, bring our hips back in space. Sit bones to the heels if they can reach. Stretch your hands out and come into child's pose. You can add some movement here, taking your hips forward and back. Taking your hips to the sides. Hip circles. And again, find stillness in this wide-legged child's pose. Next, we're going to do some work on the hip flexors. So come into tabletop position. Again, wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Keep your core active and try to keep a stable and neutral pelvis, neutral hips, active core. We'll lift the right knee off of the mat. And keeping the bend, we'll take our heels up as far as we can go. Try not to arch the back. Just keeping the movement slight. And bring it back down. We'll do that 3 times. And then come in. Next, we'll take it out to the side. So the leg goes up and out. And now we'll add some circles. So bringing your leg out and in. Do both directions about 3 times. And come back in. Finally, we'll try something different. Lifting the leg out as high as we can, keeping our core engaged. Extend, bring in, extend, and come back. So you can come back into child's pose to rest. Come back to your tabletop position to do the other side. So for the other side, I'll go this way so you can see it a little better. Come into a tabletop position with a neutral spine and active core. Raise the knee off of the floor and take it as far back as you can, keeping your spine neutral. 3 times up and back. Next, we'll take it out to the side. Again, trying to keep your back from moving too much, of the hips from moving too much. Then circles. Maybe 3 in one direction and 3 in the opposite direction. You may be able to get more movement than I am here because I have very tight hips. But just go as far as you can with a neutral spine and an active core. Next, we can try extending the leg 3 times and maybe hovering and lifting at least for 5 times just to feel that side hip action. You can do a few more sets of this if you want. I also recommend going into the wide-legged child's pose sequence that we did in the beginning of class, taking your hips back and forward from a wide-legged child's pose, and maybe rocking your hips side to side, making a few circles as well. Important to keep our core engaged while we do these movements so that we're not overarching the low back. Next, we're going to press back into a squat, and you can do so with your hands on the mat if your heels lift off of the floor. Squatting like this with both your knees and your toes pointing in the same direction forward is great for your ankles and your shins, but we can do even better for our hips by taking our feet a little wide to the edges of the mat maybe, and having the knees and the toes pointing out to the sides. Then we'll press our forearms into the inner knee and push it away, opening up the hips. You can rock side to side here, just finding your balance and your movement. Keep pressing into the inner knee, opening up the hips, trying not to round the back, but having the spine nice and long. You can stay here in stillness, or you can add some movement here. So you can rock your hips side to side, lift up maybe a little and go side to side as well. Come onto your toes, take your weight forward. You can lift your hips up high. You can stretch anyhow your body requires. Your right hand forward to the right on the floor, pressing the right knee away, and twist facing the left side. And switch sides. Bring the left hand down and twist to the right. And bring your hands back together. Find stillness here, or move around some more if you need to. I'll demonstrate from the front so you can see. Sometimes you need to adjust a little in this posture and take your feet wider, but just make sure that your knees and your toes are pointing in the same direction. Squatting every day is an excellent practice, and I encourage you to try, even if you need the support of maybe your hands on the floor or a block or 2 underneath your sit bones. Thanks for practicing with me today. Please subscribe for more and follow me at YogawithJa.